AJ, we'll start off with you. Who is one player that, yes, sir, your beautiful face. Who is one player that you are targeting at their as the best ADP value?
Ooh, so I think you're really gonna like this, Vinny, so to speak. It's your guy, Baltimore Ravens wide receiver Rashod Bateman. Last season, we talked a lot about Rashod Bateman. You were head over heels for Rashod Bateman. You were so excited for Rashod Bateman. We know he has a lot of talent, and we were expecting to see it. Came on, I want to say he played, I think, 12, 13 games last season. And now Hollywood Brown is gone. And now Rashod Bateman steps into the number one wide receiver position. So to me, one, that tells me that, hey, the Baltimore Ravens trust his talent to be a number one receiver. But more importantly, the amount of targets that have just been released to be split basically between him and Mark Andrews are astronomical. So you think about Marquise Brown. In 2020, he had 100 targets. 2021, he had 146 targets. Now, everyone's saying now that he's gone, Mark Andrews is going to get the guy. Last year, Mark Andrews obviously had the targets, 153. But the year before that, he only had 88 targets. And you can't, despite what you all want to believe, you can't just throw to Mark Andrews. Eventually, teams will figure that out. You have to get some plays down the field. And Rashod Bateman's that high catch point type of guy. So having the targets that are split up, we're talking about 100 targets that he can add to his 40 or 68 targets of last season. So Rashod Bateman going wide receiver 39, pick 92. We're talking 8th round. If he's still there, I think that's a great pick. Plus, you're going to be pairing him probably with a very top-notch receiver from the first 3 rounds. You're in a very solid spot.
Yeah, I love that. You obviously are well aware of my love for that pick, but I also want to point out the fact that you brought up the loss of Hollywood Brown in that offense and the fact that they didn't really bring in anyone to replace him. They seem like they have that trust in Rashod Bateman. We also should look at Hollywood Brown's stats, obviously, and fantasy production at the beginning of last season and throughout last season with Lamar Jackson as his number one wide receiver. Now, the playing styles of Rashod Bateman versus the Hollywood Brown, a little bit different. Maybe it doesn't translate or doesn't transition perfectly, but Hollywood Brown was a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 last season with Lamar Jackson. And I think Rashod Bateman could do just that. And you look at where he's being drafted at now, it's like Rashod Bateman or Brandon Ayuk or Rashod Bateman or Treylon Burks or Rashod Bateman or Elijah. I don't know if I want to go the Elijah Moore route, but he's in a spot where you can take him and be like, oh my God, this is a steal. I love that pick a lot. Aaron, do you have any clapbacks on that one, buddy?
No, I don't clap back on everything. I love the Rashod Bateman. I think a wide receiver 40 is honestly a disservice to where he should be. He is a talented player, and I think this ADP is more about the offense. It's just the style of Baltimore wants to play. They brought in a number of tight ends this offseason, Charlie Kohler, Isaiah Likely, that those guys are now there. I think they're going to go back to that 2 tight end, both going out. Nick Boyle's still there, and they're going to run the football. They're getting their running game back. They still got J.K. Dobbins coming back. Mike Davis is now there, just another body, and then they drafted Tyler Beatty. So I think that's what Baltimore wants to do offensively, but there's only one guy on the outside that we're really talking about. Maybe Devin Duvernay gets some big plays, but it's really going to be about Rashod Bateman, and I like Rashod. What's so funny?
More Dylan
Devin
talk.
Duvernay. Dylan put Devin Duvernay in the top 10 trios with.
I remember that, but to Dylan's credit, Devin Duvernay is a really good player. No, Devin Duvernay is a really good player. This is not the first time he'll see action. He's listed as a starter right now, and if you watched Baltimore last year, he was on the field. He was in their offense. It's just Hollywood Brown and Mark Andrews were there. So top
10 trio.
Vinny, nobody's siding with Dylan there. But to AJ's point, that's way in the past. You really got to let that go.
Any chance I can get to rip on Dylan, I'm going to take it.